Ah, the peace and tranquility of the forest. What a perfect place to recharge your batteries. Except, not every tree we know is safe to touch or taste. Believe it or not, some trees are so dangerous that getting too close to them is literally putting your life at risk. You've got trees that produce deadly poisons, trees with razor-sharp spikes, and trees whose seeds simply explode with absurd force. Suddenly, the forest isn't so safe to wander through with your eyes closed, unless you know what some of these disguised dangers are. So, my curious friend, today I'm going to show you the 5 most dangerous trees and plants in the world that you must avoid at all costs. Hippomane Mancinella. We start with the queen of poisons, the Mancinella, Hippomane Mancinella. If there's a prize for the most malicious tree in the world, it takes it. This native of the beaches of Florida, the Caribbean, and Central America doesn't just have one poison, it has an entire chemical arsenal. The milky sap of the Mancinella is rich in a series of toxins, including phorbol, which is extremely irritating. So irritating that simple contact with the skin causes dermatitis and painful blisters, like second-degree burns. And to make matters worse, if you're at the beach and it starts to rain, do not take shelter under it. The rain running off the leaves carries the sap, turning the tree into an acid shower that can cause blindness if even a single drop gets into your eye. And there's more. Even the water's evaporation can cause you to unintentionally inhale the toxins, ending up burning your lungs. Because of this, in some places, Mancinella trees are marked with red paint bands or surrounded by warning signs, a desperate attempt by locals to help unsuspecting tourists. And if you think it's only the sap that makes the tree so malicious to us humans, well, that's because you haven't heard about the fruit it produces, which has a very inviting name, locally called the beach apple. But only the name is beautiful. The effects of digesting this fruit are terrifying. Just look at the case of British tourist Nicola, who was on vacation on the Caribbean island of Tobago when she took a bite out of a green, orange-sized fruit that looked like a mini apple. According to her, the fruit was initially sweet, but after a while, she felt a strong burning in her throat to the point where she couldn't ingest solid food. The symptoms were only alleviated as she drank milk and piña coladas. These are certainly a vacation she will never forget, but fortunately, Nicola was lucky. Most who ingest this fruit suffer from excruciating pain, vomiting, and severe gastrointestinal hemorrhage. So, consider this your warning. No eating strange fruits on Caribbean beaches, unless it's a refreshing coconut water with a straw. Strychnine Tree, ominous oranges. Change of scenery, but not of poison. We move on to the Strychnine Tree, Strychnos nux vomica. This potent poison is the main attraction of this tree, native to Southeast Asia and India. The fruits are pretty. Round, yellow. They look like innocent oranges, or tangerines lying on the ground, hence the nickname ominous oranges. But the beauty hides the demon. What really interests us are the seeds, which look like grayish discs or furry buttons. These seeds contain 2 terrifying alkaloids, strychnine and brucine. Strychnine is not a poison that lets you sleep peacefully. It is a brutal neurotoxin that acts on the central nervous system. The person ingests the seed, and soon the symptoms begin: anxiety, rigidity, and then violent and painful convulsions. The individual enters a state of hyperextension, arching their back as the muscles contract uncontrollably. The cause of death is usually asphyxia, as the respiratory muscles lock up. Strychnine is currently used in the manufacture of rat poison. Well, at least this poison found a good use. Hura Crepitans. Just looking at this tree, you can understand why it's on this list. Known as the dynamite tree or sandbox tree, Hura Crepitans, this tropical marvel from North and South America is a masterpiece of physical aggression. Let's start with the bark. The trunk is covered in sharp, dark, conical spikes. It is the first line of defense, ensuring no one leans on it for a selfie. It's the tree's way of saying, "I am anti-hug." But the real show begins with its fruit. They look like small, segmented pumpkins, with a texture resembling an old grenade. And guess what? They behave exactly like one. When mature and dry, these fruits explode with a loud bang, ejecting their hard, flat seeds at speeds that can reach over 150 miles per hour, 240 kilometers per hour. This happens so that the seeds thrown onto the ground have enough resources to germinate and grow. So, make sure you're not near this tree when it's time for them to launch themselves far away. Araucaria Bidwillii. While the sandbox tree shoots its seeds, the bunya, Araucaria Bidwillii, from Australia, prefers the approach of massive gravitational force. This tree is a prehistoric giant, imposing and majestic. It doesn't use poison. It uses weight and height. Its fruits are actually giant pine cones. They can weigh from 10 to 40 pounds, 5 to 18 kilograms each, the weight of a professional bowling ball. And what's the problem? During the fruiting season, these pine cones ripen high in the canopy, which can be over 100 or 130 feet, 30 or 40 meters, tall, and simply break off. The physics are simple and cruel. A 20-pound projectile falling from that height is not a falling fruit, it's an organic meteor. The risk of serious or even fatal bodily injury is so real that in Australian parks and botanical gardens, you will often see the area around the bunya isolated with tape and signs during the seed dropping season. Dendrocnide Moroides. We finish our tour in botanical hell with what is perhaps the most sadistic of them all. The stinging tree, or jimpy, Dendrocnide Moroides. It doesn't kill you quickly, it makes you wish for death. This Australian tree, which looks like a giant nettle plant, is covered in tiny hollow hairs, called trichomes, resembling micro-glass needles. Upon touching the leaf, these hairs inject a potent neurotoxin, moroidin. The pain that follows is legendary. Victims describe it as being burned with hot acid and electrocuted simultaneously. The worst part is the persistence. The pain can last for days, weeks, or even months, in case the leaf's mini-needles are not removed from the skin. One scientist who was injured by it said the pain was so unbearable that he couldn't sleep or work for weeks. The popular name grievous jimpy is more than deserved. It is the personification of green suffering. Have you ever seen these trees in person or heard about them before? Which one impressed you the most, or which one did you dislike the least? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.